song. Come on now. Nice wave song. Come on now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of What Are You Doing? I'm so excited. I love using my hands when I'm excited, so they're going to be up here a lot, practicing my marionette moves, hopefully with jump serves and aces and getting people ace left and right. Excited. We've got a great show today. We have Kim Smith, who has been talking and writing articles for the AVP. She keeps us informed. I love chatting with her. And so I'm really excited to have her being able to explain what's going on with the schedule this season, who's playing with who, right? A lot of these things are happening right now, and it's really hot topic. So excited to talk about that. I've been just working out in the gym, managing kids, getting them ready for school. I've been flew in a helicopter yesterday to a meeting funny story, had to drive to Las Vegas. Then from Las Vegas, I had a helicopter chartered to go to a brand company meeting in Los Angeles, and then fly the helicopter back and then drive home from Vegas to LA. Pretty funny story, but it was cool, really cool experience. And I got to fly by the Hollywood sign. It was rad. So playing pickleball, playing dad a lot, coaching Cash and Guys volleyball teams. So I've been staying super busy and keeping myself quick and nimble on my toes, picking up and carpooling, all the good stuff that you guys don't want to hear about. We want to talk about volleyball. We want to talk about the schedule. We want to talk about who's playing with who. We want to talk about why Chase is playing with Troy instead of me. I mean, who else wants to know about that? I do. So we've got Kim on. We're going to bring her on now, and I'm excited. Kim, thanks for making it happen.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. Can we just talk about you and Chase and Troy? That's what I really want to know about.
Right? That's all I want to talk about. Like, what's going on? You know, it's funny because I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, this is almost full circle because I had scheduled to play with Troy like 2 years ago, right? When we had the 3 events in Long Beach. And then I realized I had one practice with Theo and our points were way better. And I was like, because you had to, in order to qualify for those next events, you had to do well, right? So it earned you a berth to the next one. And I was like, okay, if Troy and I don't do well, we don't play the next 2 events. We're like, Theo and I are guaranteed those like first 2, and then we'd earn that 3rd one. So it's kind of full circle because I felt bad for Troy, and now it's like, okay, this is adorable. It's the partnership swap outs.
It always ends up that way, and guaranteed you will play them like first match of the year, and I am looking forward to that.
For sure. And they're 100% going to put it on Stadium. Like, all right, here you go, guys. You're on Stadium.
If they don't, I'll have something to say about it.
Yeah. It's like, why is this not on Stadium? Court 7? What? Yeah. Oh, Kim, you've been keeping us so informed with partnerships and what we have with the schedule going forward. It's been so rad to have your insight because I know you're connected with me, asking me what's going on. And I know you're doing that with all these other players. I think I would love to chat with you. I mean, we've talked about the Chase and Troy aspect, but schedule-wise, what do you feel about that? How do you think that's going to go? Also, like all the locations, I mean, we're in a lot of spots. I think it's going to be rad.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It feels like the AVP of old. I mean, the Gold Series and the Pro Series are the events that we've come to know and love over the last decade, right? I mean, the Gold Series are, there they are. So they're some of the best locations. Obviously, MBO is huge, and they're kind of right all next to each other, which is really fun, kind of back to back. And that's the big prize purse, the bigger draws. Stadium court, everything's going to be exactly how we're used to it. And then the Pro Series is going to be really similar, I think, to kind of like 2015 and on. A little bit smaller prize first. It's going to be that 16 team main draw. But what I really like about this new schedule is that the Tour Series, those pink events at the bottom, those are going to act as our qualifiers for this year, which is amazing as somebody who was coming up in the sport, 5 or 6 years ago. Basically, you would travel to AVP tournaments, get crushed in your first qualifier game, and then you're done. Like that's it. And these tournaments are going to be, they're 50,000 or they're 50,000 prize purse, which is still like a really solid prize purse.
Oh,
And
for sure.
yeah, they're all over the country. You still get to travel and they're going to qualify you for these bigger events. So it's really nice. It's basically the qualifier pays out now and it's going to be a full blown tournament. So instead of playing like maybe one or two matches, you get a double elimination tournament. So that's really nice too. It's just more competition for those players. I think it's going to help with the development of the sport a ton. So I'm really excited for that. And I'll be interested to see a pro series, like an event without a qualifier. Like, what does that even look like? So that's what I'm really excited for too.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool like little aspects about that, right? Because if you have a guaranteed amount of teams, your schedule, you probably have your schedule like 3-4 days out. Conover is going to send us like, hey, you play this time. If you win, you're here. If you lose, you're there. And you know that. So you can network to friends. You can text message everybody like, look, this is what I'm playing. And here are my courts. Like, already versus, I don't know, I got to wait for 17 rounds in the qualifier to see what's going on. And then it changes the whole bracket again like that. That's a nightmare for everybody. So that will be rad, like super streamlined. And I love the reference of like the tour series. I mean, I don't know how many times I've slept on like a floor with like 10 dudes all in a room with like a twin bed. And it's like a Hotel 6 and you're just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Right. And then you go and you qualify and you feel like you just won the lottery and this is the greatest day of your life, or you're just with your luggage right back to the airport making no money. You're like, I just lost $600. Cool. This is super fun. Everyone believes.
It's so brutal. And that'll be nice too for the qualifier players when they qualify for that tournament. Then they know their main draw. So it's kind of a different mental aspect, right? Going into a tournament, your main draw versus having to go in and qualify. And they're going to not have to play on Thursday. They're going to be so much more rested going into those tournaments. They have a way better chance of going deep in the main draw than somebody who had to play 3 or 4 matches on Thursday. So that's another like really awesome benefit for those tour series players that do qualify for those events.
Yeah, right. Your mentality is so much better because that single elim qualifier, you don't know, it's the wild west of seeding and who switching up with these guys. These guys are like, oh, I have all these points that no one knew about and everything changes. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't ever get into a rhythm because it's one match. And you're like, now I'm ready and it's over. I hated that feeling. I hated that. That's going to be great because it's also grooming your mentality, right? Okay, I've got to come out strong, but I have enough to where if we lose, we can bounce out of it and still come through the contenders and make it happen. And then it feels worth it because then if you go home and you're telling, you're at church, like, how'd it go? And you're not in the finals and you're like, oh, well, won the first one, lost the next two. Like, at least you have a story to tell versus, we lost in 2 sets, 21-12, 21-14, and now I'm back here. And they're like, wait, you're doing this for a living? You're like, I'm trying to.
Or almost worse, you're like, I lost my first one, 15-13 in the third, and it's like 2-point difference. Could be, thousands of dollars in the entire weekend. And this is just, and it teaches you how to be in the AVP main draw because the qualifier is a different format. Now that these tour series are going to be the same format, that's just that much more experience for those, developmental players.
Right. You're grooming that mentality to like be prepared for it's not such a shock value once you get to the stop. You're like, okay, I'm playing Nick and Phil first round, so that one's a wash. And then hopefully we play a team that like is more of our level on that second round, and we can work our way back through. I'm excited about a lot of these matchups and these partnerships. I mean, that's besides the tour and like, okay, now we know we got these stops and I love it. We have the Gold Series. Now it's like, all right, who's playing with who? And unfortunately, I'm like so busy with like life and kids and just like work and making sure that I'm like taking care of everybody that I think I heard about who was playing with who on Try's podcast with Travis. I listened to it. And my wife, Lexi, she's like, well, who's playing with who? They're like, what's going on? Who are you going to play with? And I'm like, well, I could tell you that they're playing with this person and everyone's all matched. She's like, wait, what? You don't even know? I'm like, I have no idea. I haven't reached out to anybody. So it's, for me, I feel like can I play by myself and just like cut the court in half? And it just, because I don't have a partner.
I love it. I really like that idea. I think we should just float it. It's a new year. Everything's looking a little bit different. Let's just try it out.
Right. I mean, I have to reach out to people. I think I talked to Ed Rallage a little bit. I talked to Jeremy Casey a little bit. I talked to Phil a little bit. I think the best part is that as soon as we both, I think your article came out, Travis and Triad launched their podcast, and then Billy Allen texted me, are we doing this, partner, split block? And I was like, let's go link with sisters and just play D only and just scoop everything.
I would love to see that.
Like, can we both play the right side? Okay, we'll just entertainment value. We'll just scoop and try to transition everything. It was so funny.
I love that.
That text was like my favorite.
Amazing. That would be so much fun. I would love to see it.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It was pretty funny. And I know that there's a lot of inner workings with that and who's playing with who. And I know that Chase and Troy for sure. I talked to Chase a little bit and he's like, the goal is to go play the Olympics someday, and playing international is a requirement for that. And Troy wants to do the same thing, right? And they got it, a ninth in that 4-star in Brazil. So they're trying to like see if that chemistry and momentum that they, gotten a decent finish could take them to go play international. And I'm probably like the easiest partner to text if you don't want to play with them, because I'm like, oh, bummer, dude. I appreciate the 2 years we got to play together. Like we had such good like magic and chemistry, and I loved. Thanks for the opportunity of going and winning. Like we'll always have that, and I wish you guys all the luck, the most success possible. And I'm like, I wish that's how easy it was for me. Anytime I was switching partners, and my partner would be like, hey, I just want you to be successful for the game, for the sport. It's better for everyone. I love Troy. So for me, it wasn't as gnarly as it probably would have been if I would have been, 8 years ago. I'd have been like, what? Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? So yeah, it's definitely easier to swallow now. Is like, I just go dad mode. I'm like, okay, I love you guys. Just whatever you want to do that makes you happy.
Yeah. You're like the sage, wise guy on tour now. You're like, please go forth and prosper.
Yes. Just want you to win as many events as possible and be successful and happy. Yeah. And he's expecting that Chase is having a baby too.
I know. I
Jess
saw
are
that.
expecting. Oh my gosh.
That's
I know.
so amazing.
Jess, she saw our announcement. She's like, yes. And then like the Olympic date of like 20 years from now, she's like, the boys will be playing. It'll be awesome. I'm like, I know. Hopefully in the NBA, not on.
Oh my gosh, that is so perfect. I love it.
Yeah, exciting times. So I'm excited for them, and I think they'll do well. I'm interested to see like a John Hayden and Logan Weber, because Logan's been playing well, right, on those kind of like that Tour Pro Series the last couple of years, and really like earning his stripes, and he's working hard. So I'm excited to see how they do and how John can kind of mold him in a sense as well. That should be cool.
Yeah, and something similar, Andy Benish and Nick Lucena, like kind of that duo, and like that'll be really excited to see the wisdom between Nick going to Andy, and because Andy's really impressive to me too. Like him and Logan are kind of those next blockers coming up on tour, so that'll be really fun. Yeah, that's why I'm excited to have so many different events to be able to see these people now, because the last 2 years we've had all this new incoming talent. We've only seen them 3 times a year. So now I really wonder which of kind of those top athletes will play in some of the Tour Series events just to get more experience before like throughout the year, like there's 16 events. Anybody can play those Tour Series events. So it'll be fun to see like who decides which ones to go to if it works with their schedule.
Yeah, that was like, we used to call that like the Dana Camacho series, right? He'd go and win all of those other events with like really good prize money. We're like, how does he know about all these events?
Yes.
All this prize money. I'm like, I think he made more than us this year, traveling to all those like little underground, like the Mother Lode, Breckenridge, and like the Steamboat. Like he was just winning everything. And then we're like, what are we doing? I got to play Phil right now. And he's just dominating, playing everybody. I'm like, got to figure this thing out. So it's huge for those guys, because they get to go and make some money and build some confidence. Like it's huge.
Yeah, I feel like those little tournaments are, so many people kind of got their start on that. And I agree. Like when I was first starting out, I would hear of all these little tournaments, but I didn't really know when they were, where they were, or that they had so much money. And I would see people winning it and was like, wait, I didn't even know this was happening. So I'm so excited. They're all like under one umbrella now. All the points are going to the same spot. It's more money than ever. So I have a heart for the qualifier players, the people who are kind of coming up in the sport, the ones who have been struggling to qualify for years. And I just feel like this is a really good opportunity for them. And ultimately it's just going to grow the game. And then throughout it's just like super sustainable. I'm just really excited.
Yeah. Their ability to leverage, like, hey, I'm on tour, like I'm in the main draw, and just being able to say that, like the ability to like leverage some sponsorship opportunities, to be able to like tell your boss when you got to like take off work, you're like, look, I'm in the main draw. You get to say these things that you've been like building. So it helps that, like, it's like a springboard, right? It's a springboard to get into that rhythm of being like a top tier main draw guy. And so that's huge for them. And you can leverage that a ton in that sense, because before that you're like, oh, I want to be pro and of course I have to play in the qualifiers, but like, that's the goal. And you're like, it's so murky. Or now here's my tour dates. Here's where I'm going. That's huge for those guys. And for everybody playing in that realm. Oh, I remember that. Just so much work. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm curious, what stop are you most excited about? Like, what's your favorite stop?
I mean, for me, it's like, it's always Manhattan Beach, just because it's like that. You get another chance and another year to try to get your name on the plaque. And I mean, unfortunately, the last 2 times we've had that, I've gotten, I mean, one game of, one match away from being on the pier twice, both with Chase. Oh, so that one I'm always excited about, because I want to, you want to leave the legacy. And that's the biggest part. It's like, we all play because we love it, but at the same time, winning Manhattan, it's like you're in the history books. And so that's why it's so cool. So that one I'm looking forward to the most. I think that will be, the problem is just like, okay, who are we playing with? Like, what am I going to do here? What am I doing? Which is,
You've got some time.
yeah, hopefully. Oh, we'll see. Got to try to,
Is
like,
this the latest you've not had a partner in a while?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's
for
what
sure,
I thought.
because I've always been like, start of the year, ready to go. Okay, let's dial out our schedule and let's start training.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, do I pull like, hey Jake, dude, I'm gonna line up a sponsor. You can play AVP, bro. Come on, one more Manhattan, let's go. Like, just like, I'll come down and help you coach for free. Just play with me.
Yes, I would love to see that happen. I'm all for people coming out of retirement, especially like Manhattan Beach Open. I feel like that's when they would, like,
right, the Furby Casey Jennings. That was amazing. You're like watching them. Oh, that was so cool.
So good.
Yeah, that's how do they watch from Brazil? That's a great question. How are people internationally able to watch when we're streaming? Are they going to be able to do that, or they have to have specific rights?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know that Bally's bought us last summer, I think, and they have a bunch of different like actual channels. So like the Stadium Sports channel is theirs, and I know it's going to be streaming there. I don't exactly know what the online situation is going to be, if there's going to be any online or international streaming. I think that's all going to kind of be determined, and I think it might depend on which tier we're playing. So Gold Series, Pro Series, Tour Series, it might look a little different for each. So that's definitely something like being tuned into the newsletter, being tuned in to 100% the AVP Instagram is a must follow, because they're constantly putting out tons of information about where to watch things, including like, I know during the Champions Cup series, we were even sending people to the athlete Instagram pages, because that was the way people were watching courts. So I would just definitely follow AVP on all channels, just so that you're kind of in tune to all that. And they'll be announcing all that as we get closer. I think they're still working out all the details.
Yeah, I was just hoping you had a little secret nugget for us on how to do that. But
not so much right now.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be kind of the easiest way, is usually following the athletes in a sense, and then AVP does a good job of keeping us up to date with their social media and the stories and stuff like that. And so following the athletes is always usually the easiest way. But we have a question from Prem. I'm just seeing that. Do the pros like playing in Florida? I love playing in Florida. It's warm. My knees feel amazing in Florida. I love humidity and warm weather. So for me, as long as the hurricanes aren't coming and we have to stop for lightning all the time, I'm all about it.
I think that's the only reason people wouldn't like playing there, because we play in Atlanta, right? And like, that's super hot. Everyone likes it. We're going to Phoenix, obviously, desert. I think Florida, the only outlier is just hurricanes, and even not hurricane, like just flash floods. Like, we could be out for the entire day, have to like postpone. Or I know New Orleans, like in 2015 or something, the qualifier was like one game, like it was games to 15, and the third set was games to 11, because we had to truncate the schedule so much because of storms. So I think that's the only thing with Florida maybe be a problem. So I'm excited we're going back, because I've never played there.
Yeah, I would have to say historically, every time I played in Florida, I love it. But then there's also massive weather delays. We've got winds up to 40 miles an hour where you can't even serve the ball out of your hand because it blows away, or the hurricane warnings or the lightning. I mean, we're always having to pause. So I love it, but definitely if it acts right, it's the best thing possible.
Right.
All right, Scott's got a question. How are the points rankings? How are those going to work? I think we all keep our are finishes from last year, and then
Yeah, so they're
one
redoing
from the
the
year
whole point
before.
structure. Yeah, they're redoing
Okay.
the whole point structure because there's the USA Volleyball and AVP merged, or not, they didn't merge, but they're working in partnership together. So they haven't solidified all the details on that. That's one of those things that's coming out in the next couple of weeks on the point system. They're finalizing all the details, including like different things like injury points and pregnancy points to kind of figure that out, keep it as fair as possible, knowing that some people just like during the pandemic didn't feel comfortable. And so like those people shouldn't be penalized. They're kind of considering all those details. And then after this season, it'll be really streamlined moving forward because we'll have, more than 4 events every year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is going to be that transition where everyone gets back to the point where it all makes sense. It's clear. We've got structure. We've got a schedule out sooner. We've got everything dialed, and that's the hard part, right? The rule changes, or now we've got some specific new locations, and everyone's always confused. So I think now this is such a rad time because it's like, look, it's only going to get better and better from here, and we're going to have the same, direction where we can all focus and stay on top of things.
I agree.
Oh, Dave, I love it. He goes, nobody uses rad as frequently or as eloquently as me. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it, Dave. Yeah, born in 1980. All I used to watch was like TNC Surf. I'd play the video game, the gorilla with like the surf thing and the bright colors. And Rad was actually the movie that came out. I mean, that's my world. Gnarly, rad, dude.
I love it.
It's hard to get out of that. Oh, I love it. Well, thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
I need your help. I need to find a partner. That's the biggest problem for me. So
all right, I'll have my ear to that.
Yeah, I need you to put some good word in for like, talk to Phil. Like, hey, Phil, Casey's looking. He did pretty well last year. He's feeling good. We both have
Phil
kids.
and I text all the time. We're best friends.
Yes, I had a feeling you guys did.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
That's so good. Thanks again for coming on. Appreciate all of what you do. I think one cool thing that I want to remind everyone that Kim's articles are amazing, and also the newsletters that come out, right, with updates faster for each event, getting tickets. So if you guys need to subscribe to the AVP newsletters, that's the quickest way to find out how to buy tickets, get VIP stuff, courtside availability. That'll give you all the updated news. And then hopefully also we'll have, by next week, I'll have a partner and I'll be able to announce that on the next show and who I'm actually playing with.
Text me first because I really want to know who it is.
Yes. I'm going to do that. We'll do it. I want it on my own article with who I'm playing with, and we'll do our own.
I love that. I love it.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Awesome. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll big week ahead. More people switching partners and talking more about scheduling and how we get our point system. The ranking system is going to come out with our collaboration with USA Volleyball. So that's going to be exciting. So we got a lot of things that are evolving, right? A lot of things that are happening and coming up. So let's stay tuned. Next week, we'll chat about it more. And hopefully I won't be playing solo still. We'll have a partner. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week, next Thursday, 11. Thanks, Kim.
Bye.